Hey y'all, it's Arrettres Hollins. I am the founder of Connecting Love and Marriage. I'm so excited about today's lesson. I had somebody contact me through DM. They DM me and said they were having a major concern in their marriage where the wife was feeling she could not trust her husband because basically he'd been involved in some activity he should not have been involved in. So that created a wedge between them. He was communicating with a woman from his job. So we all know how that can be. So it created a wedge of distrust between the two of them. So she was asking me, well, what can I do? So I came up with a couple things that I would suggest anyone, regardless of what the trust issue is, there's certain things you can do to help you out. Okay. The first thing that I would do, so today we're talking about when trusting your husband feels impossible. Okay. The first thing I would suggest that you do is talk to God about it. Okay. As women or anyone, I know when we're offended, we want to jump. We want to handle the situation. We want to deal with what's going on. If he was cheating, if he's lying, if he's being manipulative, if whatever it is that he's doing that creates this sense of distrust, we want to jump and we want to deal with that issue head on because that's who we are. We're women. We don't like to walk around our heart or play games with our heart and our emotions. Okay, trust is big to us. But when it comes to situations where your spouse is doing something that you know he should not do and he should not be doing, stop before you approach them and talk to God about it. Why? Because God is going to tell you exactly how to deal with the situation. Okay. He knows the heart of your husband and he knows the circumstances around it. God has a way of letting you know what to say to actually speak to the heart of your husband to get through to him. Because sometimes when we speak out of our emotions, it throws men off and they become defensive. Now, of course, if he has already created issues of distrust, he's already feeling and knowing he's wrong. So he most likely isn't going to be all, well, yay, I've created this issue and I'm ready to deal with it. Most likely there's going to be some hesitancy from him because he's going to be a little defensive. Okay. So go to God. Your first response is normally the wrong response. Okay. So what I mean by you find out they're doing something wrong. And then you start hollering, or you want to run through his cell phone, or you want to run through his emails, or you want to confront the other person, if they were having an affair, or if they're lying, you want to go through every single thing that they ever say. Just pause. I'm not saying don't confront, because confrontation is necessary, but I want your first response to be talk to God about it. And when you talk to God, you're going to ask him for clarity. You're going to ask him for understanding, and you're going to ask him for wisdom. Okay. You're going to ask God for clarity because he allowed the situation to happen. As tough as it is to hear that, we have to believe and trust that everything that comes into our life, God is fully aware of it. Even though it's painful, even though it hurts, even though like, I don't deserve this issue. I've been a good wife, taking care of my family and my husband and doing everything that I could think of to make my home an environment where they want to come to. And then he's doing whatever it is that he's done. Okay. So in the midst of all that, you have to understand every single thing is ordained by God. It's allowed by God, and he will not give you more than you can bear. So with this issue, I want you to go to God and ask him for clarity. What is my lesson from this? Why have you allowed this to happen? What's the purpose? Because everything has a purpose. Okay. And what role am I to play in this? Okay. Your role might not be to pop off. Okay. Even though that's our first reaction, God probably doesn't want you to play the role of pop off wife. Okay. What you doing? Why you doing this? You know better. I've been good to you. that's going to create an atmosphere where he's defensive and he's not hearing anything. Talk about your husband. Okay. So, next, asking for understanding. Allow me to see my husband the way you do. Most likely, if your husband is committing something that is also a sin, it's because he's broken. There's something going on in him that God needs to deal with. I'm just one to believe when men have, or anyone or women have affairs, are lying, are being deceitful, are being manipulative. There's something internally going on inside them that's creating this situation to manifest in your life. Okay. So we have a habit of, well, it's my fault. What did I do wrong? But you can't take it too personal and saying, what is it that I do? No. What is it that is going on in him, Lord? Lord, show me what his issue is so that I know how to work with it. Okay. And next, wisdom. I say ask for wisdom because God knows exactly what it's going to take to get to your husband. He knows exactly the words that needs to be said. He knows the approach that's going to work best with him. So you want him to give you wisdom so that you'll know how to get to your husband's heart, how to get to the root of the situation. Okay. And make sure you get clarity regarding how to handle it. Okay. Like I said, you're going to have to confront, but there's a way that he wants you to confront. So it's really based on, what God's instructions are for you. And it depends on your spouse. You know, my husband, he needs a more calm approach. Well, it depends. Because sometimes, you know, he needs a little bit, look, okay, what's the problem? Why are you doing this? And at other times, it's like, okay, honey, A, B, and C are really not what I need in my life right now. And you're bringing this in. So you just got to know when and where and how to speak. And God's going to give you direction with that. Okay, so that's number one. So when trusting your husband feels impossible because they've committed some kind of offense, the first thing you want to do is talk to God about it. Asking for clarity, understanding, and wisdom. Number two, if you are too disheveled or hurt or dealing with way too much pain at the time, and sometimes there's times in our lives where sometimes even going to God, it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just too much for me to bear. Get with your circle immediately. Every woman, every wife has to have a circle of women that they can go to that can help them deal with the situations or the things that come up in marriage. Okay. Who do you want in your circle? You want other wives. You want women who believe in marriage. You want women who are dedicated to their marriage. You want women that are transparent. You know, not women that saying, oh, my life is perfect. Marriage is wonderful all the time. And all the time marriage is perfect. No, boo. There's times when you look at your husband, it's like, did I really say I do? Did I mean to say I do? Can I reverse my I do? I mean, that's just, it is what it is. You know, we love them, but they gonna get on our nerves sometimes the same way we get on their nerves at times. Okay. So, but you need women in your life who are transparent about those moments and what they do to overcome those moments. Okay. So that's who you need in your circle. You also need women who have experienced marriage. Okay. I've heard different opinions regarding newlyweds versus seasoned married people. Okay. Newlyweds can come to the plate with wisdom. I'm not saying that they don't have wisdom. What I'm saying is, if I prefer couples who have experienced life, couples that have experienced marriage, couples that have experienced ups and downs and the twists and the turns. Some newlyweds experience stuff real early. Like John and I, we experience stuff real early. It's like, I do, issue. It's like, oh, same day we got this issue here. Make sure you're dealing with some seasoned married people who have gone through the storm, made it out of the storm, okay, together. You do not want Debbie Downers in your group. You don't want the girlfriend who's saying, well, girl, you know you can do better. You know, you don't need him in your life. Let's be clear about a couple things. The woman who most likely says you can do better, you don't need him, move on with your life, you can find somebody better, and she's single. I've seen a situation like that where she pushed up on the brother. After the wife had moved on, so well, okay, let me go ahead and put this space between us. You want to make sure the women surrounding you are women who are in support of your marriage, basically. They want you to be happy. They want you to fulfill the purpose that God had in placing you and your husband together. Okay? You also want the husbands of the woman that are in your circle. So, of course, you have married women in your circle. In your husband's circle, it should also be the husbands that are attached to those women. Okay? Because you want to be on one accord. Okay? So, for example, one of my good friends, Davana, love her to pieces. Love Davana. Davana knows most of my dirt. She knows most of my issues. I'm transparent with her. She knows the good Arrettres. She knows the bad Arrettres. And I come to her with my, this is me, this is what I did wrong, help your friend, okay? The bonus to that is her husband, which is Darnell, is very close with John. So when I go to her with these issues, Darnell is, they're like tag teaming us. Look, John, A, B, C, D. Davana's like Arrettres, XYZ. Okay? You want them to be on one accord so that y'all are all on the same page. It's okay if his friends are not connected to you in any way, but it's better when y'all can all come together and y'all will have an understanding of what it is that your expectations of marriage are. You want to have a good support system that is pushing you towards God. Remember, marriage is ordained by God and marriage has a purpose. God, no one is married just because. Okay, we know, all right, we get married, sex is wonderful. Yes, that's all good. But there's more to marriage than just we get to have free sex whenever we want to. Okay? And most married people know after a while, even that's kind of like, wait, did we have sex this week? What we going on? But I digress. I'm sorry. Okay, that's a whole nother topic. We can talk about that later. If you want to talk to someone about that, let me know. So, you want accountability partners that are God-fearing. You want accountability partners that believe in the sanctity of marriage. Okay? Number 3, once you are mentally settled, calm, and rational, talk to your husband. It's important that when you speak to your husband that you're calm, that you are rational. It's important that you're able to really sit and listen as well as express how you feel. You need to express what you're feeling. You need to express how what they've said or did not say or did, or whatever it is that they're doing. You have to express why it's bothering you. Express what part of that action is actually wrong, and be able to have a healthy dialogue about the situation so that you can come to a healthy resolve. Okay? Do not get loud. Do your best. Now, this is hard, especially when they have earned the opportunity to be in the I don't trust you pot. Okay? It's hard to be rational and calm with them. It's like, you knew better. You knew better. You knew you shouldn't have done this. But you have to be calm because there's 2 things that can happen. You popping off, and they're like, well, see, that's why I can't talk to you anyway. That's why I lied to you. That's why I did this. They can try to put the blame on you. It's wrong. I'm not justifying it. I'm not condoning it. But that's one of the tricks of the enemy. Well, see, you just all up in my face. See, that's why I can't talk to you anyway. That's why I did what I had to do, because I can't come to you the way I want to come to you. Don't give them ammunition. Okay? You want a healthy resolve. You want a healthy conversation where 2 people are able to explain or communicate. So one way is he tries to say, well, it's your fault because you're popping off. Or 2, he shuts down. My boo likes to shut down. Like, if I'm too much for him, if I'm all up in here with it, he's just like, he goes in and nothing's coming out and he doesn't hear anything that I'm saying anymore. So you just want to make sure that you are mentally calm and rational and able to actually express yourself. Okay, so let's recap real quickly. We're talking about when trusting your husband feels impossible. 1, talk to God about it first. Ask him to give you clarity, wisdom, and understanding. 2, if you are too hurt to really deal with the situation, go to your immediate circle, which are normally wives who have dealt with issues in marriage. 3, once you're mentally settled, calmly and rationally talk to your husband about the issue. 4, if he refuses to face the issue or you two are unable to come to a healthy resolve, bring in a third party. Bring in a licensed professional. Bring in someone who is trained to deal with marriage and to deal with issues that come up in marriage. Someone that can be somewhat of a peacemaker. Someone that is able to take the fluff and the mess out of the situation and see clear to the root of the problem. That is one of the services that I provide as a relationship consultant. I'm able to help couples navigate through those tough seasons in their marriage and get to a healthy resolve where they're able to push through and then fall in love all over again and just open up those doors of communication to where they're able to get through that season. Okay, so if you're interested in me helping you, you can always DM me, email me, click the link in my bio, or just comment below, and we can work something out where I can chat with you kind of quickly and see if we could work together, if I could help you with your situation. Okay, so number 5. And this is hard. This is a hard one, especially with matters of the heart. Forgive them. Okay? When they're wrong, you're going to have to forgive them. And I know when your husband has done something that's created an issue where you don't trust them anymore, forgiveness is the last thing on your mind. You don't want any parts of forgiveness. You want to hold it against them so you can protect yourself and make sure that they're not able to hurt you again. But you have to understand, forgiveness is not for him. Forgiveness is for you. As long as you are holding on to that anger, that rage, that bitterness, that resentment, it's eating away at your heart. It's eating away at you. You're unable to walk in the peace that you should in your marriage. So forgiveness is not for him. Forgiveness is so that you can release everything that was given to you and that distrust that was, or that the emotion behind the distrust. Okay. Now there's a difference between forgiving him and trusting him. Trust is earned. Okay. Forgiveness is freely given. And one thing I want you to think about is Ephesians 4:31-32. Okay. God freely forgives us. Okay. We don't have to earn his forgiveness. All we have to say is, Lord, I'm sorry. And then he forgives us. Okay, we have to repent with the clean, with the intentions of not going back. Okay, we're not just saying I'm sorry because we want forgiveness. We have no intentions of going back into that again. But forgive your husband for yourself so that you can be free and not have to do. Because once bitterness grows, it's a weed and it just attacks you. It attacks you physically. It attacks you mentally. And another thing you got to understand, when you're holding on to distrust or bitterness, that other person is going on with their life normally. They might be concerned and wish you were not upset with them, but they're sleeping at night while you're up and you're concerned about this issue, okay? So, forgive them and release them for your own good. Okay, so let's recap one more time. When trusting your husband feels impossible, number 1, talk to God about it. Ask God for clarity, understanding, and wisdom on how to deal with the situation. Number 2, get with your circle. You should have a circle of women or wives who have dealt with marriage, love you, love your husband, and want to encourage you in your marriage. Number 3, once you're mentally settled and calm, you want to rationally talk to your husband about the issue. If he cheated, if he messed up with the money, because let me have a transparent moment. I have issues with money, okay? Not that it's money, but I have issues with security. I need to know the bills are going to get paid. I need to know the lights going to be on. I need to know that I'm going to be able to eat, okay? So when I was married before my husband, and there were lots of issues with money. Okay, so it created this thing in me. for you.